I think we should start with welcoming our guest today and a couple of my favorite people. And Amanda, the more I get to know you, I'm sure you'll become one of them. But I'm Carol Hutchins. I'm the head coach at the University of Michigan, and we're celebrating Women's Equality Day and speaking with some strong women leaders, athletes, and phenomenal people, and getting some insights from them today. So I think instead of me introducing you, I would like you guys to take a minute, and that's all you get, to introduce yourself, just a little bit about yourself and why you're here today. So we'll start from a person on my immediate left, which is Sierra Romero.
Hi, I'm Sierra Romero. Hutch calls me Romo. I played softball at the University of Michigan. I currently play for the USSSA Pride. I play second base. I can play a little bit of shortstop. And, I'm here today to talk about women's equality and keep spreading the word and keep pushing female athletes to get better each and every day and push for more.
That's great. And next, Amanda, is it Fama?
It is Fama, yes.
Fama.
Amanda, Fama, yes.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm from California, Orange County, California. I went to Concordia University in Irvine. I played a little bit with Scrapyard Dogs their first year in the MPF, but now I play for Team Italy, who's qualified for the Tokyo Olympics, whenever those will be. But yeah, just super excited to be a part of this, obviously with you Michigan ladies, and just people that we agree on women's equality and to keep pushing it forward and moving things forward. And I think it's a great group that we have right here, and I'm excited to get this going.
And of course, last but not least, Amanda Chidsester, otherwise known as Chiddy.
Yes, my name's Amanda Chidsester. Chiddy, softball world knows me as. I also graduated from the University of Michigan. I'm a utility player, a little catcher and first. I played for the USA Olympic team. I'm currently playing in Rosemont, Illinois for a new league called Athletes Unlimited, which I'd love to talk a little bit about because I think that it goes in line with, all the things that we're trying to push for women's sports and growing the game and like we talked about, the women's equality with just making everyone believe that they can be the best they can be and going for it. So I'm excited to be here and talk with everyone too.
Well, I think I like to go off script a lot. So the first thing I want to bring up is the fact that we are all here today. And I have said for a long time, of course, I've been coaching a lot of years at the NCAA level, but we have a unique platform as athletes and, of course, as college athletes. And then you can move on to the fact that we have professional athletes on this call and we have Olympians on this call. So I want you guys to talk a little bit about what using your platform today means to each of you. What does using your platform look like, and how can we help shape our society and our future with our platforms? Who would like to go first?
That's a good question. I can jump on that. I think for me personally, like I feel like my platform, what I want to portray out there is that when you set your mind to something and you decide that you want to go for it, like it's on you and no one can stop you from that point, and just to keep pushing through. And I feel like, I don't know, for me, it's like, go for it, go big or go home, and I dream big. I don't know, like there's nothing, like when you put your mind to something and you keep working towards it and putting yourself in the right situations, I believe that it's possible. And I hope that can be portrayed through my platform and inspiring women to just be the best that they could possibly be in anything that they do. It doesn't have to be softball. It could be in anything that they do.
I agree.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go for it. You're good.
For me, it's funny. Chiddy probably knows this one. It's one of her Hutchisms from back in the day. It's, what are you willing to do to get what you want? And I just like to live by that every single day, and doesn't matter what I'm doing. And that's how I wanted to portray on my social media, and that's where the fans see me. And I want them to see that I'm doing anything and everything in my power to push women's softball, to push for it to have more exposure, to push for us to have, more space on a New Balance website, and just have us have everything that I believe that we deserve, that we've earned. And that's the big thing, is I think we've earned it. And I feel like me using my social media to help push for that, and then also show female athletes that, I mean, you don't have to fit the norm. You can be different. You can be whoever you want to be. And I just want them to continue pushing and breaking that glass ceiling of, I don't have to be this way just because everyone says I need to be. I can be whatever way I want, and I can be a total BA and get after it and be me.
Yeah, and I have to agree with Amanda and Sierra, and I think it's great because Amanda with Athletes Unlimited right now, and Sierra, her platform with New Balance and everything that she represents is great. And for myself, kind of bringing both of those together, as in the sense that my platform and my exposure for young athletes, that I worked my butt off. I went to a junior college and then I went to an NAI school and had to beg and beg and beg for my tryout at Scrapyard. And I just worked and I worked and I worked and I worked, and you just never give up, and you show that no matter what it may be, whether you're have a cleat up to your head like a phone and you want to show that you can be sponsored by New Balance, or you're headed to like a new league that represents exactly what women want right now. And just the same thing, like Chiddy said, like work and work and work and never give up. And that's what like I kind of want to bring to my platform with any young athlete, female athlete, anyone following me.
Well, and I would remind all of you and all the viewers who are watching this with interest that your platform is really, you have the ability because of the position you're in, because you're an Olympian and you're one of the greatest professionals out there, or because I'm a head coach at a really visible university. And it's your opportunity to do what's right and to speak out on behalf of things that are unjust. And we can look at the most recent Black Lives Movement. We can certainly look at the most recent issues that have occurred in professional sports and athletes who have stood up and said, no, we stand for more than just hitting a ball over the fence. And we stand for more than just playing a game. We are people, we are human beings, and we are using our platform to help make the world better. Because again, one of our sayings at Michigan is to leave this place better than you found it, and to leave the world better than you found it, regardless of what you're doing in the world. So I remind you all out there, all the viewers, that you all have a platform. How do you choose to help better the world, whether it's our world of sports or just the world? So I'm gonna move on a little bit now. What Women's Equality Day? I don't know if we learned that in our history classes. I know I didn't, but I want to ask each of you, when you hear that, what does that mean to you?
Okay, I'll go first on this one. For me, it's kind of a little bit different because I've never really been outspoken about women's rights or women's equality. And so I think it was a great time with being qualified for the Olympics and stuff to kind of step into that role, like you, Coach, you were saying. And so what it kind of means to me or represents is that it's kind of proof that we are leading towards something that we want, and that things are happening, and like changes are happening. May not be as fast as we want, but we have a day designated to the steps that us women are taking, and no matter how we're taking them, something changes are happening. And so that's kind of what it means to me, and I'm super happy to kind of be doing something like this to represent that and make it a little more memorable for me, and proof again that that I'm kind of have a voice, and I'm taking the steps towards the change that we're going towards.
For me, I mean, it's an important day because it's a milestone, and it's something that we all deserve as females, as women, and we deserve the respect. We deserve the equal rights and no discrimination based off of our gender, and so I think it's important because to me it's just all things we deserve, and it's awesome that we have a day for it. And for me, I just want to push so that it's every single day, and we don't have to continue to explain ourselves all the time and continue to constantly have this conversation with other people. I just want it to be the norm, and I hope that one day it is. But right now we're talking about it, and we're still pushing for it to be normal, and for us to be these strong, independent women that we all are on this screen, and for it to be okay, and that to be the norm, and for us to just be treated as our equal.
Yeah, I mean, we're preaching here. It's the same thing. Just like to me, it's like, we're able to, I don't know, like it's a situation for us where we're living it right now. Like we're living through it. And like Hutch said, I didn't learn it in school. I learned it from Hutch. Like, you know, how many conversations that we had in college and on the buses and any situation where there was a learning moment. And for me, like, you know, just continuing to be in the sport and continuing to have these opportunities, you know, just from, you know, from when I was in college till now, you can see the change. And for us to be able to continue to, you know, strive towards like what Romo just said, where we don't have to talk about it anymore. When we do the right things and we do what we're supposed to do and we get rewarded for it the way that we should, that's, you know, that's going to be the best day. But, you know, we're not quite there yet, but we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Well, and again, I think all of you recognize this. You are part of the change. And we have morphed into so much over the many years I've been alive in all aspects of society, but it doesn't just happen because we deserve it. We do deserve it. However, there's a lot of fights for it, unfortunately. There are times when you have to stick up and say, that is not right, that is unjust, and I will not tolerate it. And you can certainly go through hardships, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your personal life. People will make you feel bad. They'll make you feel greedy. And in fact, we're not quite there yet. We're a long ways from it, or I would be watching all of you make millions of dollars at this point in your career, because if you were of another gender, you would all be millionaires. And so that is my hope, that in my lifetime, which isn't as long-lived as you all, that I see you all become millionaires. And I'm hoping that Romo and Chiddy will come back and take care of me. But that is, you know, we're not there, and you guys have to continue to fight the good fight, to stick up for what's right when it's unjust, and take a stance even though it's not popular. And I tell you that will always bode well in the long run. And so I'm going to move on a little bit. I want you guys to speak just a little bit, and this is not a leading question, but talk about some of the role models in your life, female role models for you that have impacted or shaped some of your career or part of you as a person, as an athlete. Talk about that.
For me, it's been my mom since day one. Just growing up, watching her get after it, her work hard, and it was pretty cool growing up watching her put on, you know, a bulletproof vest and have her gun and everything. And I just like, wow, I just want to be just like my mom. Like, she's just a boss. And the other person too.
That she was in law enforcement, Romo.
Oh, she's in law enforcement. And then, and I'm not just saying this because you're on the call, but Hutch, you're definitely somebody that I have just admired before I even got to Michigan. Just all the good things people told me about you. When I got there, I got to experience it firsthand. And then just watching you and listening to you talk, like Chiddy said, anytime there was a teaching moment, you taught us, and I learned so much from you. And then the last thing for me is probably my younger siblings. You know, I mean, I don't want to exclude Michael, but Sydney and Sophia just being the other girls, and me wanting to be a good big sister for them and be a good role model for them. And I just feel like that they push me every single day to want to be better, just so I can be the person that they want and need me to be.
That's good.
I'll go. For me, yeah. You know, for me, that I looked at that question, and it was a little bit tough for me at first, just to kind of like, what direction do I want to go in? Because I've had strong female leaders in so many different ways in my life. Like, if I were to pick, like, my grandma, for example, she's a strong female leader for me in her faith and like her just amount of love and faith that she has had. And then my mom, for how much she cares and how awesome of a mom that she is to all of us. But then softball has brought so many strong leaders to me, and I've been fortunate enough that in softball, that all my, you know, almost all the coaches I've had in my career in softball have been women coaches. And so I've been exposed to a lot of strong, you know, female leaders who have really shown the way for me to be able to be strong and independent and have a say and have an opinion on things. And I think it's been really powerful. You know, my high school coach, Hutch, And then even afterwards, I was with Coach Erickson, which is a male, but he was the first like male coach I really ever had. And then after that, I had Coach Gasso, Lauren Lappin, like this, the amount of coaches I've had that were females that had impacted my life is a lot. So I think that's been pretty special that softball has really brought that to my life.
Yeah, I think all of us, our moms are a huge person in our lives, and my mom as well. When our lives got tough, she really showed me to stand my ground, but believe in what I want to believe in, and then to also find the positive in negative situations and keep that to push you harder to like take the negative and make it a positive, or to work for what you want to work for and reach that positive. So my mom is a huge influence in my life, but also Amanda or Chiddy mentioned Lauren Lappin is my cousin, and growing up with her, seeing her work ethic on the field as a little kid, I knew that she was just someone that I wanted to follow and kind of be like, and she just worked her butt off every single day, and she has a super successful career on the field, but also off the field, to see what she's done and what she
still
stands
works
for.
that hard.
Yeah, every time, every holiday, she's like,
here. She's been a machine here.
I can imagine every holiday, it's like, oh, I'm gonna bike to California, or like I'm gonna go paddle boarding. She's amazing, and she represents great stuff on and off the field, and just a huge person that influences me, and I look up to on and off the field as well.
And and that's who you guys are to so many young women, and for the little girls that wait outside our locker room and for autographs, and they all want to grow up to be Sierra Romero or Amanda Chidsester. And I mean, that's who you are, and that's why your platform is so valuable, because they do look up to you. It's why it is so important that we use our platforms for the right reasons, and remember that we represent something bigger than ourselves. And I know that the people I know do a fantastic job with that, but role models are important. So you can't be something unless you see it. You can't dream it. So I think that almost kind of answers this, but is there any messages that you would give to a young female athlete? Both Amandas gave a little bit of one already, but any other messages you would give to a young aspiring kid, especially in today's world?
I have two things. Oh,
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, I actually don't know yet. Go ahead. Let me think.
I don't know. I think the two things that come to my mind, the first one is just like be you, like be authentic. I think that so many of us try to be someone that we're not, or we're scared to be our true selves. And there's no better way than waking up every single day and living exactly how you want to live and be exactly who you want to be. And there's no hiding anything. There's no wishy-washy. Like, it's just a breath of fresh air, because you're living your true, what it is that you want to be, just, and I think that's hard. As a kid, it's hard, and you have to grow into that, and you have to learn that. But I think that when in doubt, like, you just got to find who you are and be you. And then the second thing is fail. It is okay to fail. Fail and fail and fail and fail again. Because if you do not fail, you will never realize your potential. You'll always be like stuck right here, because you're too afraid to fail. The more you fail, the further and further you realize how far you can actually really go, and how much potential you really do have in anything that you do. If you don't fail, then you're not going for it, in my opinion. So I think that we need to learn how to embrace failure more. And I think that as coaches too, we need to encourage failure more. We need to let people be okay with messing up, because when you mess up, you get it out of your system, and then we can get that next one. But when kids are so afraid of what someone's going to think of them, or what the coach is going to say, they hold back, and there's so much left in their abilities that they don't even get to see, because they're too afraid to go for it. So those would be my two things.
That's really three, but that's great stuff.
That's pretty good, Chiddy. Mine's kind of, I can't follow that up, but pretty cliche. And I only say it because I've lived it, and it's to never give up and get a goal and work for it, and that there is no right route. I know, talking to you three right now, like the D1 route, it's not the right or the wrong way. I came from, like I said, the junior college to the NAIA and worked my way up. And so if you can do something with it, there's no right or wrong, and believe in yourself, because if you work hard and you believe, like, it'll get there. I mean, I never dreamt really to go to the Olympics. I watched Lauren go, I'm like, okay, cool. And then now I'm going myself. And so just really never give up. And I love that Chiddy said something about be true to yourself, because be proud of yourself. I used to be kind of embarrassed that I went to a junior college and I went NAIA and I was good. And people say like, oh, where'd you go? Just some little school that had 2,000 students. But now, like, I am so proud of it and it represents me and I'm so happy of my path. And just like Chiddy said, be proud of you and stay true to you.
For me, I feel like all of ours kind of go together a little bit in one way or another. Chiddy had actually said the exact phrase I was gonna say, which is just go for it. Like who cares? Like if you mess up, if you make an error, like if you strike out, like who cares? You're gonna get another opportunity. You're gonna be able to fix it. And I just feel like working with some of the younger athletes and having a younger sibling, and sometimes being around her when she's training and being at practice, if she messes up, I can hear her say sorry, and I'm like, stop saying sorry. Like, what do you have to apologize for? Who cares? And so I feel like sometimes we apologize a lot. So just stop apologizing. You're going to mess up. You're not going to be perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. So like eliminate the sorry, especially when you're on just when you're on the softball field, like you don't need to be saying it. And then the other thing too is, I mean, it's really just to go for it. I mean, when I was younger, I have this thing that I made when I was like in elementary school, and how you kind of said, Amanda, about being like the goal orientated and just going for it and never giving up. I made a list of like what I wanted to accomplish when I was younger, and it's really cool because I go back and look at it and I have like 5 different words spelled wrong, and it's painted on like an old necklace and like a piece of wood that I like put together in the house. And I still have it to this day in my house now. And it's just funny for me to like go back and look at it, because I made that when I was little, and it was because somebody who had this message at school and a presentation that we had, like it just really stuck with me, and she told us to go and write these goals down, and I went and wrote them down, and I kept it with me all throughout school when I was younger, all the way at Michigan, and then now here, and I still have it now, and I'm 26 years old, and it's just so cool for me to look back on, because I really think those things pushed me, like writing it down and seeing it and looking at it every single day, because I really wanted to accomplish those things on my list. It just really helped me. And, it may not be for everybody, but it's something that's maybe nice to try, just because you have a goal and you want to crush it, write it down and then get after it. Because, some people think about it every single day. I'm one of those people that I want to see it right there. I wrote it down. I took the time to, put that effort in, and I just want to get after it.
You guys are great. It's good stuff. I hope all the listeners are writing down, taking notes. So what can we do to make our community, our softball community in general, our communities more inclusive to everybody, more inclusive to different races and different types of people? Anybody have any thoughts on that? What we could be doing better?
One thing I was thinking when I read this question, something that came up was making something that's less demanding. Like, I feel like when people sign up for softball, they're signing up for a whole long summer ordeal. Like, I feel like we need to start making like more rec situations where it doesn't cost parents a ton of money, and maybe it's local. Like, I mean, I remember playing local ball when I was younger. Where did that go? Where did that disappear to? Because now everyone's playing travel ball at 10 and 8 and 9 and 7. Like, what happened to just like getting into the sport and finding a love for the sport and enjoying the sport? Like, these kids go right into it, and it's life or death with the commitment and their parents. And if you don't get this hit at 10, you're never going to college. Like, where did that come from? So I feel like we just need to like bring it back down a little bit. Like, let's create some more rec leagues. Let's make it so that it's not, like I said, not so expensive, and so it's more welcoming for more people to find the love for it. Because I know all of us on this call found a love for it, playing in the backyard with our brothers, our families, our friends, going up to we called it the tot lot. Let's go to the tot lot and play wiffle ball. Like, no one does that anymore. So finding that love, like that's why I feel like we're all still in it, because we have this such love and passion for the sport that we gained at a young age from just having fun. So
I've had a number of coaches talk about the grassroots. The young kids have no avenue to get in because they have to go in all out, and it's exclusive.
crazy.
It's exclusive. You only get to play softball, and you have to,
Have a ton of money and travel around the country.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Anybody else?
That's
have
what's tough.
anything?
Just kind of rolling with what Chiddy said, like that's how people perceive the sport now. And people that don't really know anything about softball, they just think it's this, you have to have money to play and you travel and it's so hard and strenuous and it's tough on the kids at young ages. And so I think it's a great thing that Chiddy said, like just find the passion again. Like I think it started with butts up. Like you play butts up and then like right before the game you go and play. So you're already amped, ready to go just from butts up and to love the sport, because yeah, we all still love it and never got tired of it, maybe. But you still come back to that. You still come back to that original love that you don't want to leave the game yet and stuff like that. You don't want to be leaving it at your prime and then you're done. You want to fall in love with the sport as a little kid and then play to 30, 26, however old, and keep going. So it's a good one, Chiddy. Man.
Yeah, I think it's grassroots. At the end of the day, it's kind of, I don't even know where else you would start other than, right there with the younger athletes, because that's our future.
It just faded. It like faded away.
Yeah.
Like it all of a sudden just disappeared.
Like I remember how you guys are saying like, oh, let's go play wiffle ball. Let's go do this. Like that's not happening anymore. And if I do see it, it's like very rare. And if anything, I'm going to stop and watch these kids play because I feel like I don't ever see that ever. And so I think that's important. I feel like that's a really good place to start.
It's always the kids like you don't expect. You're like, you could probably walk up to someone, Sierra, and be like, oh, hey, expecting them to know who you are. And it's just these little kids out like just playing catch. You're like, oh my gosh, I love you for just playing catch and having fun. And they have no clue who you are.
Well, maybe on our next call, Amanda, you could talk about what butts up is, because I don't ever played that.
Do you guys know what butts up is?
No,
It's
I just went with
it. Okay, well, thanks for going. It's kind of like wall ball, but like a little kid. So you throw the ball.
Fielding, right? You like got to run to the wall before they throw it at it.
Yeah, and if the ball makes it to the wall before, you got to stay at the wall, and they just chuck the ball and it hits you. So.
Oh, yeah, that's like the real wall ball, not the modified version of it.
The original one. Now it's getting a little more lax and like
exactly.
So.
Not cutthroat. Go stand there.
More rules and regulations, and now the adults are running it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we're going to play that this fall, so just so you know. Well, can you guys speak just a little bit about a topic that's really large, and confidence, and how important having confidence in a game where in softball we fail more than anything, and how do you maintain that confidence level, which is imperative? Can you give us a little insight?
Yeah, I'll go first just because mine's pretty quick and to the point. Confidence it comes from preparation and positive self-talk. For me personally, if I feel like I've prepared and I've done all the things I need to do, there's really no reason for me not to go into a game and feel confident. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go 4 for 4, even though that would be ideal. It's not gonna happen. But I know that I felt prepared because my preparation was on point. And then the positive self-talk. I know I'm gonna get out, but I'm not going to let her get me out twice. I'm not going to let it happen 3 times, and it's definitely not going to happen the same way every single time. So it's the preparation and then the positive self-talk for me.
Yeah, I agree with Sierra 100%. Just the reassurance in yourself. And Chiddy kind of touched on it. Don't be afraid to fail, because you have to be confident and reassure yourself that you've been in that situation before and you can get out of it. So kind of the self-talk and just reassurance in yourself and the positive motivation.
Yeah, and to kind of going off that, like, I mean, the preparation, and another thing too, it's like something that really like put a light bulb off for me, as I've been playing all these years, because it's been a minute, is that when you do the things that you say you're going to do consistently, you build trust within yourself. And the more trust you build with yourself, the more confidence you're going to have, the better self-talk you're going to have, because like what Roma was saying, the preparation, like you did what you said you were going to do. Like you completed those ground balls that you wanted to, that were going to make you better. You took those cuts that you knew that were going to get you prepared for that pitcher, so that when you do fail, I mean, it's part of the, like Hutch said, it's part of the game. Like it is 100% part of the game. It is what it is. And how am I going to get that next one? Like you have to have, I don't know, we talked about this in college, like that one pitch focus. Like you cannot dwell on those past mistakes or past pitches, past errors, whatever it may be. Like you have to learn how to stay in that present moment. And the more that you can stay in that present moment with the self-talk, with all those other things on top of it, the more success that you're going to have. Because I feel like we all naturally want to dwell on all the things that we do awful, instead of just like, okay, let's go back to that present moment. I am here right now, be where my feet are, and let's dominate this one because I know I can do this.
Well, and just as a coach, I remind all the viewers, you have to own your confidence and recognize without your confidence, you're leaving your best aspect behind. You're leaving it in the dugout. Because a confident player is worth a heck of a lot more than a non-confidence. You have to own it, and you have to find a way to maintain it every day. So that's my coaching tip of the day. And then I think the last thing that we will talk about is all you guys. How can we get more fans in the stands? What can we do? What can we do as a community to increase what we already know, the greatest game on dirt? What can we do? Because the people who find us love us. How can we get them to find us? Give us your answer.
That's kind of a tough one. I was just thinking of stuff like to help educate, but how do we educate them? And it's just use our platforms, do things like this for everything, for every sense of the game, for women's rights, for everything. Just use our platform, use social media, because that's becoming something that's so strong, and help educate the people that just would rather watch baseball than softball, and see her keep doing her thing and represent with New Balance and Chiddy keep growing like leagues and stuff like that, and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and using our platforms.
Yeah, I think I don't. That's a tough question. Isn't that a marketing question? But I think honestly, like in my opinion, like this opportunity that we like that I'm in right now with Athletes Unlimited, it is a group of individuals who are putting so much towards our sport of softball. And at some point, it's like, well, wow, like as players, we need to take off with this. Like we need to constantly put it all over our platforms and stuff, because they're putting so much into the sport for us, and they're trying to get the fan engagement, like all these different things. So I think that this could be a start of something. Like I want to stay positive with it. But I think that is going to be a big thing, is like that we have the right now, like with this league, we have 56 players in this league coming up, and it's just going to grow. Like if we can do this the right way, it's going to continue to grow. And I feel like when there's things past like the professional, like past college, the College World Series is like one of the most watched things, but that's it. So if we can carry that on, that competitiveness to that next level in the professional league, I feel like we can keep those followers, and then it just grows and grows and grows. So I think that I don't know, I like I said, I'm staying really positive about this opportunity with Athletes Unlimited, because we are getting a lot of exposure right now, and I just hope that it takes off, and that exposure just like gets people excited about it, and it can continue to grow. But it is a tough question. Like we're always talking about it.
Question, I feel like we're always talking about
We're always
that.
talking about it.
I feel like we did a good job. I mean, just with how much softball's been on TV, I think we're showing the world how valuable we are. I mean, at the end of the day, once you put us in front of a camera, I mean, we're producing. Everybody loves it. Everybody falls in love with it. So it's just, I mean, if you give us the opportunity to fail, we're probably not going to. So it's, I mean, we're in a pretty good position. I mean, the SEC softball, like they kind of took off with that, with, the tournament, and then I think all their games were televised. And I think that was huge. And I think people just wanted more and more softball after that, especially after the World Series. But then on top of that too, I think it's like all of us, we're doing such a great job with our platform, but I also think it's just every softball player, like every single softball player. It doesn't matter if you're 10 years old and you're a softball player and you play for the Bat Busters, like you have a platform and you are a fan and you're important for a sport to grow. And so pushing it even on your social media platform, and like you're all influencers and you're all helping the sport grow. And it's not just us because we have Olympians and, you know, pro athletes. It's everybody. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You all are helping the sport grow. And it's knowing that your presence matters.
Peace in it. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you guys, you're all a part of it. It doesn't matter what age, what level. So just recognizing that and making the most of it.
Well, Romo, you're probably the only player that had a social media platform at 10 years old. But I do think
For
that
real.
you guys, you are part of the change. You're part of the solution and representing, going out there, and the great opportunity Wilson's given us today, DeMarini, to be a part of this today and spread the word. You're always spreading the word, and you're always representing something bigger than yourself, which in our case is the sport of softball. So I think you guys did a great job here today. I really appreciate DeMarini including me in this, a chance to see some of my favorite people. And now, Amanda, you're one of my favorite people too, as I'm a big fan of you. So
you just like the butts up, you just want to know the butts up game. That's
well,
it.
I definitely want in
you can
on that
steal
butts
it.
up game. I'm definitely getting in on it. So,
All
but
right.
there's so much to talk about, and I hope we can do this again because, again, we need to be a part of the change, and you guys are part of history. And you'll look back someday and think of what you did to create what becomes the version of Major League Baseball, which is hopefully the Women's Professional League, and you're a part of that. So you'll kind of be like a league of their own or something as you look back. So, but with that being said, I appreciate you all, love you all, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Hutch.
Thanks, Hutch.
Miss
Thanks
you
so
guys.
much.
You're welcome.